And welcome back, guys, to Leo Gaming. I hope everybody's doing well. Today is the start of a brand new branch to this channel, and it is called, can I have a drum roll please? No, can I that's not what it's called. Can I have a drum roll please? That's right, guys, this will be a brand new video uploaded every Tuesday based on anything to do with my childhood. That will be anything from the late 80s to the year 2000. So if you like this video and would like to see more of this content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons just below your screen. And today, in case you haven't guessed it, it is a legend of a title developed for the Megadrive and one that began it all for me in gaming. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog was developed by Sonic Team and released for the Mega Drive in July 1991. It's a 2D side-scrolling platform game from the 90s 16-bit era and is based on Sonic's speedrunning through each level using springs, slopes and some amazing gravity-defying loops, which still amaze me to this day. Sonic is on a quest to defeat Dr. Robotnik, the main enemy, who is a scientist that has imprisoned animals in robots and stolen the powerful Chaos Emeralds. To battle this, you must collect rings as a form of health, and all with the use of a single button, jump and attack. See, it all began with SEGA in 1990, ordering the developers to create a mascot to rival that of Nintendo's Mario. You know, because SEGA does what Nintendo don't. Sorry, I had to just put that in there for nostalgic reasons. The developers eventually settled on a blue hedgehog, even after almost settling on an armadillo. Thus, they called themselves Sonic Team to match their character. Sonic was created by two men, Yuji Naka, the programmer, and Naoto Oshima, artist, and that brilliant 16-bit music was created by Masato Nakamura. I've got to admit, I do love that music from this game. Do you know what? When you're playing it, you don't appreciate it so much at the time, because obviously you're only 5 or 6. But now you listen to that music and it's such sort of classic 90s style techno music that you can't help but just to constantly hum to. And I still know all the tunes now. Even when I play it now, I can hum to it and hum correctly all the way through each level's music. So that's how brilliant this music was designed. I mean, the fact that you can remember it after all these years, it was just such classic 90s. You know, it's almost like a techno club feel. I mean, just listen to it. Yeah, you just want to. It feels that could be a nightclub tune. That you could have that as a trance tune. I mean, it's absolutely classic. Anyway, where did it all begin for me? Well, I was about 5 years old, and I remember my mum and dad pulling up outside a game shop, and they were sitting. Well, I was sitting in the car with my mum while my dad went into the shop, and then he came out with a box in a carrier bag and he started putting it in the boot. But I had actually clocked it, the SEGA logo, just before he did it. So I asked my mum, I said, "Mum, who's that for?" And he said, "Oh, that's for your uncle for Christmas," because it was coming up to Christmas time. Oh, the disappointment I felt. I was like, no, the disappointment I felt, because we had an Atari, that the little joystick and the red button, where the Centipede was the be all and end all game on that, and it just, I was like, no, because I'd seen it advertised. I was like, I want that. Come Christmas Day, there it was, Sega Mega Drive with Sonic the Hedgehog, and the excitement as a 5-year-old boy, similar to what you see young kids now with the latest PlayStation or the latest Xbox. That's what I was like with a Sega Megadrive, and that is where I really started honing in on gaming. And Sonic, in my initial years, Sonic was my main game, from Sonic 1 to Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. I mean, the modern takes on Sonic, as soon as it went 3D, Sonic just went downhill. So, you know, the 2D versions of Sonic are always the best. And what a fantastic game. And I'll tell you what, the difficulty level of Sonic 1 was really high. I mean, it's a lot harder than what games are nowadays. I know it's 2D scrolling, but you get limited space. Like, for example, this, it's just one thing after the next. That, you can't even see that underneath the ground. Look. Now, if you've never played it before, and you're supposed to go fast in these levels, you know, and sometimes you couldn't. And for example, here, that was always such a great feeling. You know, when you think that you're the only child, you used to think you're the only child that found a secret entrance in a wall. I mean, there was a couple of them in this game where you would find secret entrances in the walls, and you think, yes, I'm the only child to ever discover this. Because obviously you didn't have internet or YouTube back then, so, you know, you didn't know what other kids could do on it. So as soon as you found them, you thought, yes, look at this secret entrance in a wall, and all you would actually get in it is just an extra life or a couple of coins. But it was still just exciting, and that's what was brilliant about this game. It just encapsulated everything that Mario didn't, because obviously Nintendo was already out with Mario. This just took, it had speed, it had colour, it had sound, it had great levels, you know, everything about it was just absolutely fantastic. Although the ones I did hate were these water levels. I could not stand these water levels. Oh my God, I just used to want to blitz through them as quick as possible because they did my absolute head in. The amount of times I cried playing these levels was absolutely frustrating. Oh God, it's just, it didn't give you long enough. I always felt they didn't give you long enough. I mean, you get those little bubbles, but you end up spending half your time waiting. I mean, who remembers this? God, was that the most dreaded bit of music? I mean, it just shows you how genius. I mean, I know I'm talking about the music and sounds a lot, but this just goes to show you how good the sound was back in them days. The fact that sound alone, that melody alone, just as soon as you heard it within the game, you knew what was coming, and that your heart started beating a little faster because you knew you had to get out of that water or grab a bubble. And if you didn't, it was, well, unless you was on one life, it was game over. You know, it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I hated these water levels. Look there, you can see, look. There was obstacles everywhere in these levels. It was absolutely fantastic, and the difficulty level of these games back then was so much harder than what they are today. Now, obviously, you get tutorials, you get your handheld, you get walked across the zebra crossing by the lollipop lady. You know, it's all different now. It's all done for you. Whereas back then, it was literally, and you didn't have a save. See, kids now, from the sort of 360 era or the PlayStation 1 era, obviously, you know, people 30 and above, you'll remember Megadrive, Nintendo, there was no save. You didn't have an auto save or a save point. There was none of that. Oh no. This was, you either completed it or you started all over again if it got switched off. I mean, I just remember playing Sonic in the bedroom, and you could tell by looking through the net curtains you had on your bedroom window that it was getting late because it was getting slightly dark and the street lights were starting to come on, and you knew it was coming towards your bedtime. And I could hear my dad coming up the stairs, and I'm thinking, no. And they'll open the door and they go, right, son, off it goes, it's bedtime. I'll be like, no, but Dad, I'm on the last level. Dad, seriously, I'm on the last level. Can I just do this level? No, it's already gone your bedtime. It's time to go to bed. But Dad, come on, Dad, Next thing he would say, you either switch it off or I pull the plug and it comes out of your room. And you would still argue because I just couldn't bring myself to turn it off. Before you know it, he's unplugged it and I was in floods of tears. every single time. You're in floods of tears, and I would cry myself to sleep because kids now don't realise how many hours you would put and how difficult it was to complete these Sonic games back then. It was unreal, and you know, the fact you didn't have a save just made it even harder. So when your dad come up and pulled the plug after spending 5-6 hours just trying to get to the last level, oh, it was so difficult, so difficult. But you know, eventually, and you know what, I didn't actually complete these until I was an adult. Yeah, I didn't complete it until I was an adult, but you know, it was just, but the difficulty level got harder and harder. I mean, some of the level designs were absolutely fantastic. When you look at this, it's the way they timed everything, the obstacles, the enemies, the sort of, see, look, it's just one thing after the other. You know, it's got, I mean, this was difficult. I used to find this difficult to jump on these little bits. Obviously now it's a bit easier, but when you was a kid and you had the Megadrive controller, it was very difficult to jump on those little bits, and it was a bit wobbly. But yeah, what a fantastic looking levels. I mean, the colour 16-bit colour, it was absolutely fantastic. You know, this was like never before seen stuff, this. Obviously, apart from arcades. But obviously no one had an arcade in their bedroom. And this, you know, just, oh, it's fantastic. I just still remember how difficult it was when I was a kid. Even now, I still had a little bit. I still died a few times on that water level, on the labyrinth level, and the bosses. I remember playing this, and this used to be such a hard level, which it still is. I actually almost died on this. This bit's easy. It's when he starts taking those blocks out, and eventually you're left with 2 or 3 blocks. And when you bounce off him to get the last kill, you have to time it so you land on a single block or a double block. Look, you'll see it here. Like, I'm waiting for him. You can't get him from a certain point. You have to wait till the needle comes out, and you jump up, and you're popping one. There you go, bang, bang. And kids, now what you had to do, you had to hit them 8 times. 8 times. Yeah. See, look, this is where it's getting more difficult. There, look, I almost went off. I had to jump up to come back. There was a lot of fucking pardon my language. There was a lot of joystick, like a lot of control you had to have with this game. Absolutely fantastic. And there's the little creatures that you've saved from the robots. What, you know, oh, this is such brilliant watching all this. See, in terms of the enemies on this game, the enemies, that was one of the worst enemies, those caterpillars, because it was a very dodgy wave. You had to land right on the face. If you landed anywhere, nowhere near the face, bang, you would lose your rings. And it was so difficult. There was a few enemies that were difficult. Most of them were quite easy. But that caterpillar and the ones that are they're like little fireballs, and they got little spiky fireballs around them, and they sort of spin around, and then they zoom one off every now and then. Oh, they would clock me a few times. See, look, here I actually forgot what I got to do, because I forgot that Sonic 1 doesn't have the super spin like you get, which comes in number 2. So I'm sitting there thinking, I can't remember how you do this bit. So I'm ducking, I'm diving. I'm ducking and I'm diving, trying to work out, and then I remembered you got to roll towards it. Look, you'll see, I do clock this now. And those spikes just do my head in. Here we go. There we go. I made it in the end. Oh, do you know what? Even now, I still find this game difficult. It's funny. It's funny. But yeah, the enemies, like I say, some of the enemies were easy. Some of them were difficult. The caterpillars and the little fire spiky ball ones. But like I say, this game is where it all started for me. I mean, this game means so much; it's unreal. This is where my gaming career started. Really, I just spent hours, and I just remember when they announced Sonic 2 and the excitement I had for when that came out. Yeah, Sonic 1, legend of a game, absolute legend of a game. So that has now brought me to the end of my trip down memory lane in regards to Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'm now afraid to say that it's game over. So that is the end of this trip down memory lane on Sonic the Hedgehog on Retro Tuesdays. If you enjoyed this content and would like to see more, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and make sure you check out my previous video on that Winter Extreme Sports game, a review on that game, Steep, which was my previous video, on your screen right now. And I hope everybody has a nice Tuesday, and I will see you soon, and thank you for watching.